Hi. For the first time in this course, we're going to see Hibernate in action, and we're going to do it with the same Hello World application that we learned in the Hello World with Hibernate session. So I've already got all the files in place, and the reason why we are getting these errors here is because we do not have the required jar files from the Hibernate distribution package in the class path of the Hello World application. So let's go ahead and download the Hibernate distribution package. So we are at the ORM section of the hibernate.org here, and we're going to go ahead and download this 4.3.5 version of Hibernate. And I have already done that to save us some time, so I'm not going to do it again. So here's the Hibernate distribution package, and I've extracted it as well to save us some time. So I'm going to go ahead, get into this lib folder, then the required folder, and then copy all these jar files and then paste them in this lib folder. And we need to have all these jar files in the class path of the Hello World application. And I'm going to use this build path dialog here in Eclipse IDE to construct the class path of the Hello World application. Now we're not seeing any errors anymore. Now let's go ahead and create the Hello World database in MySQL. So I'm going to go ahead and create the Hello World database. It might need a refresh. Yep. Now we're going to go ahead and create the message table inside this Hello World database. And I'm going to use this cheat sheet to save us some time. You're going to get this cheat sheet as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paste it here and then execute it. And we should be having the message table created. Yeah. So we've got this Hibernate configuration file in place. And first we're gonna start using this Hibernate mapping file to map this message class to the message table. Later we're gonna use JPA annotations as well. And both these files are in the same package. So let's go ahead and have a look at this Hello World client class. And we're going to go through this code using the debug mode. What I want to show you is that how the state of the message object is going to be changed once this line 17 is executed. So I'm going to place a breakpoint here and run this code in debug mode. Now the point of execution is on line number 17 here. And we could see that the message object has already been created, but at this point, the state of this ID attribute is null. Now we're going to go ahead and execute this line number 17. Yeah, we've got the value of this ID attribute changed from null to 1. But if we look at the message table, we can't find any data inside it. Then how could the value of this ID attribute got changed from null to 1? Let's see how. When this line 17 got executed, Hibernate executed this insert statement against the Hello World database. So what happened there was that because we were using this auto_increment attribute here for the ID column, and a new row was inserted into this message table, MySQL created a unique primary key value for this ID column. But then we don't have any data inside this message table. So where's the newly created unique primary key value and where's the inserted data? If you just look at this Hello World database and refresh here, you're gonna find this message table actually has one row inside it. So the data has actually been inserted into the message table on which MySQL created the unique primary key value, which Hibernate used to set the ID attribute. And that was how the state of this message object was changed. But we can't find any data inside the message table. And that is because the transaction that we started on line number 13 is not committed yet, and it's going to commit only once the line 19 is executed. So let's go ahead and execute this line number 19. And once we do that, and go ahead and check the data inside this message table, we're actually going to find the data inside it. Now we're going to go ahead and simply run this code. Great. Now we're going to go ahead and use this message entity to specify the mapping between this message entity and the message table. And I'm going to remove this resource here because we're going to specify the entity we're going to use for the mapping. And we're going to change this import here as well because we're going to use the message entity this time with JPA annotations. So this time we are running this code using JPA annotations, and we actually do not need this message class or Hibernate mapping file anymore. So we're going to go ahead and simply just delete it. It shouldn't be making any difference anymore because we're going to use JPA annotations in this message class to map this message entity to the message table. So we're going to go ahead and simply run this code. And we should be finding, yeah, we've got the data here inserted in this message table.